Blessings, everyone. Welcome back to Jenna's Journey. I am Jenna, and I was sitting thinking all day, actually the past couple of days, about what content I was going to put out next. And I kept being called back to, I guess, letting people know a little bit about myself and what led me to this point here. And basically, I did like a little TikTok video. I'm new to all of this, so let me just put that out there. I watch TikTok. I, will watch like the Instagram stories, Facebook Lives, all of that good stuff. But I've never partaken in it myself. I always was of the mindset that like until my life was really exciting or there was something for me to, really video and put for the world to see, that it would have to be something that either was exciting, funny, or had a lot of meaning. And it's not that I feel like my day-to-day life is boring by any stretch of the imagination. I guess I never really thought anybody would watch. And it's literally like, at this point now, it doesn't matter to me if anybody is watching or if I look stupid or, what the end result is going to be. It really, truly is about me being willing and able to let the powers that be speak through me, and using the knowledge and the pain and the growth that I've had in my own life to propel me to basically, talk to all of you and have a platform where I can use that knowledge to hopefully help other people to wake up and understand that we are the creators of our own life, and we have so much power that we are not in tune with. And I really want to impart that to as many people as I can in my lifetime, because I'm 37 and I am a single mom. Actually, I'm a single mom, but my boyfriend and I have been together for 2 years now. We live together, and he is helping me raise my daughter. So I'm a single mom in the aspect of I've done it, without her father my whole life, but not in the aspect of our day-to-day life now and for the past 2 years. I've been very blessed about my circumstances. After some really bad shit happened, it was like I understood why the bad shit happened so that I could shed my skin, shed my life, and use that pain as the highest motivator to push through and basically transform and transmute all of the negative into positives. And that's pretty much what I wanted to get into today, was how all of this started, what my beginning looked like a little bit, and how I got here. So I have a mom and a dad that are still married to this day. I would definitely botch it if I tried to tell you how many years they've been married, but it's been a long time. My grandparents were always very close, my maternal grandparents. They helped raise me and my sister, and it's just me and my sister, and she is 41, about to be 42, so she's about 5-ish years older than me. So at the current moment, my maternal grandmother has been gone for, I think it's about 11 years now. And my grandfather has Alzheimer's and is in a VA hospital because he can no longer take care of himself. My mom and dad are doing amazing, and they're awesome people in their own right. And my sister is also a really awesome person, great personality, And we just found out a year ago, October 8th, that she has pancreatic cancer. Now, she's been doing phenomenal, so I don't want to put that out there as if it's, like she is a fighter. We're all fighting with her, and I believe that anything is possible. And I want to basically just shake her or like touch her and have all of the knowledge that I have and everything that has been shown to me. I want to give that to her so that she can understand that it's all about her mindset. And if you have love and positivity, there's nothing that you can't conquer. Now, I can't say that any of, one thing put me on my path, but what I will say is I started using drugs and alcohol at a very young age. I had some traumas happen when I was younger, and from there I found alcohol and pills at the time, and I was off to the races. I felt like I found the meaning of life. I found what I was looking for. I was always a shy, introverted, just scared and sad little girl. And because of that, I looked for any and everything outside of myself to, I guess, make me none of those things, make me happy and extroverted and fun to be around, the life of the party, and all of those things. Mind you, I was like 10, 11 years old, so I don't know what party I was going to be the life of, but this was my mindset. And I'd be lying if I said that the reason that I got into alcohol, which was my first love, it was to hide. It was to, take away all of the feelings that I had and not have to deal. And my first, I think, addiction, like real addiction, was to Adderall. Because I had some stuff happen when I was younger and I didn't know how to deal with it, and I kind of just blocked a lot of it out. And we grew up in Philly, and my mom and dad wanted a better life for us, so we moved over into South Jersey when I think I was about 7 or 8 maybe. And my grandmom and grandpop would be, the people that watched us as my mom and dad worked really hard to, give us a better life. So my grandmom was my comfort zone. She was my rock and the person that I looked to for everything. So when we moved over to Jersey, she couldn't be with us as much, and I didn't really understand that at the time. So I went through a really rough time, and I was struggling in school. I was struggling in my skin, really. So my mom and dad, trying to help me, brought the child study team in, and they did evaluations, which meant no, anything to do with my brain, no MRIs, no testing to really see what was going on. It was kind of just like, do you check these boxes? Can you not concentrate? Do you have this going on? And, clearly it was, yes, I am struggling to concentrate. So they kind of stamped me with ADHD and sent me on my way with a script of Adderall at 7 years old. And my parents just thought, like, this is what's going to help her. We want her to have the best life possible. And I know that their intentions were always good. They were doing the best that they could with what they were given. However, I come from a long line of Irish Catholic people that alcohol is not a stranger to. And there is definitely addiction in my bloodline. So that Adderall to me was basically the start of a fast declining downward spiral. I would find that when I took the medicine, instead of doing what it was meant to do, which was, calm you down and help you to focus so that you could do the things that you needed to do, but you couldn't because your own brain was lacking something, and it kind of slowed you down, right? Well, not for Jenna. It was speed. like pure unadulterated speed. So I remember my sister and like her friends and my friends all making fun of me because I would go down to the nurse's office in the middle of the day and I would have to take this medicine, which by no means was that like a bad thing. I looked forward to it each and every day. But I would go to drink something and I would be like, and everybody would crack up. It was like, the running joke. But in reality, looking back, like, that's sad. That was sad that I couldn't eat. I had no appetite. I couldn't sleep because, of course, I wasn't taking it as directed. I would literally, my parents would hide my medication and I would find it. And I'm young at this point, like really young. So that's when everything really started. And it was bigger than me and it was out of my control from a very young age. So then, I would take the Adderall to come up. And then I learned quickly that alcohol would bring me back down. So throughout, this whole period, I kind of bounced around to different things. And throughout all of it, I will say that my dad was always very religious. He was a devout Catholic and believed in God with his whole heart. And we, as good Catholic children, had to go through the sacraments, and we were baptized, we had to make our first Holy Communion, and so on and so forth. And I always believed in something bigger than me. I just didn't know exactly what that was. And because my dad believed in God, Jesus, I tried to adopt to that, and I did for a long while actually. And it's not that I don't believe in Jesus now. My belief has grown and changed over the years, and it's all the same thing to me. It doesn't matter what you believe in or what you call that power. It's all the same power in my eyes. So basically, I always knew that I had a choice, and I always knew that somebody up there or somebody out there, who created the world, you can say it's science, you can say it's, all of these different things, but at the end of the day, anybody that says that there's not a power above us or bigger than us is lying to themselves. Because did you make the sun rise this morning? Did you make the sun set? Because I didn't. So in that way, I feel like it's an easy concept to adapt to. But a lot of times, because we don't understand it, because we can't touch it, feel it, it's not tangible, we don't believe it's there. But in reality, wind is not tangible. We can't see it, touch it, feel it. We know it's there. So same concept, different bottom line. So I went through school. I struggled along the way. I do think that because of the things that had happened to me when I was younger, I had a problem with feeling confident enough to ask for help and to say, I'm struggling with something. And I remember in second grade, my dad told me that he wanted me to be held back because he knew that I was struggling, and the teachers just kind of pushed me through. And it was a huge disservice, but now I look at it and I'm like, no, it wasn't, because everything that happened was supposed to happen exactly how it happened, because it made me. So in 7th and 8th grade, I can't even say I introduced myself to the bag of medicine that was under my mom and dad's bed, I guess, at a feeble attempt to hide, any narcotics from me and my sister. And I found them, and it was like the Holy Grail. I didn't even know really what they were or what it meant, but at that time, I took a shit ton of pills and ended up in a crisis center because everybody assumed that I was trying to kill myself. And I couldn't really deny that I was, but that wasn't my intention, I don't believe, at 12 years old. I think it was more about, just trying, like, I felt okay, and I just wanted to keep feeling more okay, and I kind of always had this attitude of, why not? Like, let's see what would happen. I didn't really have a lot of fear when it came to the things that I should be afraid of, but I had a whole lot of fear of the things that I shouldn't be. So I ended up in my first crisis center, and that was kind of the jumping off point to me remembering some stuff that had gone on, and having to try to start to deal with it. So from there, I I unfortunately was not a very good teenager. God bless my parents and my grandma. My dad used to always say, "Why did Jenna cross the road?" Because somebody told her not to. And that was, my life. I did not like authority. I did not listen to people because I was supposed to. Like, you had to earn my respect. If I was supposed to listen to you, I needed to know why. That was always how I was built. Just, you need to tell me the why. And anybody that couldn't, I had nothing for you. So, I got in a lot of trouble in high school. I was only a freshman at my, high school that I was supposed to be at for, I would say, one semester. And I was the first freshman to meet the superintendent. And he told me if I chewed gum wrong, that I would be kicked out. And I can't even tell you what exactly happened. I guess I must have chewed gum wrong. Something definitely transpired, and surely I know that it was my fault. And I ended up getting kicked out. And at that point, my guidance counselor, had started a program, basically for all the kids that, had trouble learning in a normal high school setting and had a problem with authority and rules and just kind of needed to march to the beat of their own drum. She started a school for us. It was an alternative school, which I'm sure people know what it is now. But at the time, we're going back to, the late 1990s, because I graduated in 2001. So, it was like an old church that was abandoned that they turned into this school. And my dad said, if you graduate with A's and B's, I'll buy you a Mustang. And that honestly was the only reason that I went. And I ended up really excelling at this school. I did well with classes. I really felt like I was a part of something, because they didn't, rule with an iron fist, and they did tell us why they wanted us to do the things that they wanted us to do and what benefit it had for us. So, it was a good experience for me on that level. On another level, it was basically all of the future drug addicts of America in one place. So I ended up, finding some people that you find people that are the same as you because you vibrate at a certain level, and those vibrations bring in people that are a reflection of yourself. So that's exactly what I did. I brought in people that were exactly like me, that were broken and trying to run from themselves, their lives, their feelings. And by the time I was 16, I was doing heroin. And it was a really dark, awful path. And I struggled for a really long time, trying to get clean, trying to stay clean. And I tip my hat to anybody that is trying or has the desire to change their life, because it's not easy, but anything worth it isn't. But when you wake up one day without the desire to use, and you understand that you have way too much that you don't want to give back, that's when your whole life will change. And I can't even honestly say that I fight with, wanting to use or the urge to use. I legitimately, it was like a different person, a different lifetime. And true to form, just like everything else, I didn't do it the way that everybody else did it. I didn't follow the normal path. I did my own thing, but I found what worked for me. And people that judged, I decided didn't matter. And the people that mattered didn't judge. So it's been over a decade that I've been clean, and I don't drink, I don't do anything, and I smoke cigarettes. That was really hard, but I just quit smoking. It was the beginning of quarantine, so I guess like February, March, and I use the vapes now, but I mean, I was a heavy smoker, heavy. Like, I would literally just light a cigarette from the last cigarette that was burning out and just continuously chain smoke. So I just say all of this to say, this is a little part of me that I feel like, if you were to look at me today, you wouldn't necessarily think like this girl was homeless, living in Camden, and, was really beat up and broken. But I am that same person. And I am proud of the fact that I'm sitting here in front of you, clean and happy and completely free. And I just thought, in the beginning, I'm like, I want to start this channel. I want to get into the things that are most important. I don't want to harp on, the negatives that brought me here. I just want to focus on the positives and keep pushing forward. But in reality, in order to understand that I wasn't just this, happy-go-lucky girl that, never had too many problems and now all of a sudden follow me because I found the secret to life. It's more about going through all of that hard stuff. Like, pain is what makes us. It's what motivates us. It's what changes everything. So perception on that pain is what will be the key to unlocking everything. I used to look at all of the negatives and think that it was going to hold me back. It was going to consistently be my baggage, and I couldn't, date a normal person because how could I explain my history, right? And in reality, the person who I am on the inside isn't any of those things. The person, like my soul, my heart, has always been the same. It was just a little lost for a while. So my perception now is when something happens that causes pain, I look for the lesson immediately because I know that it's there, and I know that it is priming me for what I asked for coming into my life, if that makes sense. So whatever I'm manifesting and what my goals and dreams and all that stuff is that I'm trying to bring into my world, I can't get there without going through some stuff that will allow me to be ready. So I understand that when something derogatory happens, I need to immediately shift my thought process and understand that nothing is good or bad. It's what we make of it. It's the emotions that we attach to something. Like a job isn't good or bad. Anything. It's, it's what feelings it brings out within us. So if I can look for the lesson and understand that it's an opportunity for growth, it is so much more rewarding. It really is, because I don't stay in that negative vibration for very long. I switch my thinking, and don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect at it, but I am a far cry from where I used to be. I struggled with anger even, for many years after getting clean. My dad used to work with me on that and tell me that it was like pissing my pants. Only I can feel it, but everybody else can see it. And I really struggled with that. I just had this rage inside. But now it doesn't come up. Like, I don't know how to convey this to people, but my daughter will come home and tell me something, and I can see the hurt and the pain and the anger in her. And she wants to kill me sometimes because I am consistently giving her what worked for me. And she's 15 years old, so that's not always the easiest thing, but she is an amazing, amazing person with such an amazing light and so much growth at 15 years old. So I know that she's getting it, and she is transitioning onto this path. But yeah, I see the anger, I see frustration, I see jealousy, resentment, fear, all of these things, and I don't feel them today. I really don't. Because if I did feel fear, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to myself in my home on a camera that I'm going to put out for literally any and everybody to see. Anger, I don't hold any resentment. It doesn't matter what somebody does to me or says to me or how they made me feel at certain times, because I understand that just like I am a reflection, or I'm sorry, my life is a reflection of who I am. I believe it was Buddha that said, if somebody gives you a gift and you refuse it, who does the gift belong to, right? It belongs to that person. So if somebody says to me, Jenna, you're an awful person, and, just something derogatory, and I don't accept it, then pretty much what they're doing is telling me what they have inside, what they feel about themselves. And I think once you truly understand that on a deep level, it changes everything. And so the whole purpose for me making this or getting on YouTube to begin with was, this was something that I wanted to do for such a long time. And I made excuses and told myself I'll do it when. And it was all fear-based. It was all fear-based. And I mean, there's a lot to cover. So that's pretty much like the condensed first chapter version of my life story. And, as time goes on, I'm sure that I will get into different instances as they need to come up. But I went to school for skincare and makeup artistry, and I was passionate about it. I am passionate about it. But when push came to shove and I got my license, and I was kind of, at this crossroads of, all right, what now? What do I want to do when I grow up? Mind you, I was, 35 years old. But I couldn't see myself doing that for the rest of my life. It's my hobby. It's things that I feel passionately about because I want to help people to look and feel their absolute best, right? But I knew that there was something more that I was meant to do. And I kind of, actually, a medium that I go to that I absolutely love and has always been 100% on point, he told me that I needed to puddle jump. And if I step in shit, I step in God's shit. And that's really a testament to my life. Because after I was at my job for about, I think 15 years altogether. And it was my first job ever. I left and then I came back to it and I stayed there. And it was pretty much like my whole, when I went there and started working there again, I was very newly clean. And I think there was a lot of trepidation about leaving there because I only knew myself there. And I didn't know what Jenna looked like or sounded like or would feel like outside of that bubble of comfortability. And it wasn't until I actually took the leap that the net appeared. And it didn't appear right away. I took another job, and I really think that they just were looking for, like a lifeline, and wasn't honest with me about what they were really, using me for. And they put me in a store that was basically flatlining, and I had to have a surgery in the first, little bit that I was there. So long story short, I ended up losing the job. Everybody, unfortunately, the video, I guess I didn't have enough storage, so it just stopped recording after a certain point. So I just wanted to come on here and basically just wrap everything up. I think where I left off in the video was basically talking about my job and, the main job in my life that I defined myself through. And like I said, at that job, I was there for a very long time. And when I left the company that recruited me, I really feel like they did me a disservice by ripping me away from, somewhere where I excelled and I was good at what I did, and confident and secure. I was in a management position in sales, and long story short, I felt for a long time that I made a mistake, which is crazy now looking back on it, because as much as I'm grateful for that job, it did what it needed to do for me, and then I held on way past the expiration date. So it led me to a place where I was becoming bitter. I had outgrown it, and I knew that I was meant for more, but I didn't know how to transition, and the fear is really what held me there for a long time when I should have left. So that job that I used to harbor resentments with, because I'd never lost a job in my life, not even using. So, it was definitely a shock to the ego and to my system, but it truly was the best thing that ever happened, because had it not been the perfect setup at the perfect time, I don't know that I would have left where I was really stuck. So in doing that, it opened up this world of possibilities of what am I really going to do now? What is it that I really want? And through that, I've puddle jumped and I've stepped in God's shit a time or two. But at this point now, I understand that every single step that I took, it was leading me to the path that I was supposed to be on, which is what I'm on now. And that is energy healing. I've always had an empathetic spirit to a fault. I used to think it was a curse, and I could always, really feel what other people were feeling, and I didn't understand what the purpose of it was, or how to really channel it to use people without, giving away all of my power, positivity, and, just basically filling other people up and feeling completely just empty, and nothing around me could then fill me back up. So I understand all of it now, because pretty much what was meant to happen was I was given all of these challenges, these things that I went through in my life, to overcome them in my own time and in my own way, and figure out that at the end of the day, the knowledge that I have, put together over the years, along with some serious healing, is exactly how I'm learning to channel that and give that back to anybody that is looking for more in their life, anybody that has trauma, anybody that, can't see the bigger picture. So it's really a beautiful thing. And I just wanted to give you guys, a little tidbit, the beginning part of the basics of my life. And believe me, there's so much more, but I know that I'll touch on different things as they come up. But I just wanted to kind of, come on here and really let you know who I am. Let you know a little bit about where I come from and why this is such a beautiful thing that I am able to wake up and feel blessed and grateful and just full of energy and life every single day without fail. It doesn't matter, if it's sunny out or if it's raining or if there's snow. It doesn't matter what is going on around me, because internally I am aligned with my highest good. And in doing that, and kind of just clearing out all of the clutter and just chaos that was always in my head, being quiet enough to hear the universe speak to me, and then following, inspired action. In doing that, you literally feel like you're high on life. I wish I would have known this, a long time ago. I would have saved myself a lot of pain, but then again, if I would have done that, I probably wouldn't have ended up here. So yeah, I'm getting ready to pick up my daughter from field hockey and then go to a yoga class. That's the other thing. So I am certified in Reiki 1, which is a form of energy cleansing, healing, whatever word you want to use to describe it. But I will do a whole video or a couple videos on the chakra system and meridians, and just kind of opening energy up and what each chakra holds and what it means when it is open, as well as when it's blocked and not vibrating at its highest level. So yeah, there's that part of things which I'm going to continue to keep going back and learning and, going further and further with that. But also I have finally made the choice and taken the leap to do a yoga teacher training course. So that starts October 17th. And I'm so excited because I feel like I've always pictured the person that I wanted to be. Like, I knew what she looked like, I knew how she dressed, I knew her heart, I knew how she carried herself, how she walked. I had this picture in my head of what, if there wasn't any limitations in the world, who I could be and who I could embody, right? And I'm finally on the path where I'm bringing that person to this moment now. And part of that is doing yoga because, people hear yoga and they're like, oh yeah, that's cool. It's stretching and it's, it's not really that deep. If you want a real workout, do X, Y, and Z. Like, I've heard all kinds of things, right? But my boyfriend just went with me about a month ago to a yoga class, and I think it really blew his mind how much energy and strength it does take. But what's more than that is why. The why, again, that's me. Jenna needs to know what the why is. The why is understanding the energy that is flowing within everybody, as well as within ourselves, and how we work with that energy to become our highest self or our highest, level of good. So I'm super excited about all of this, and obviously I want to share every single thing with you guys as I go along, and I'm sure that more will be revealed. All of these books over here are all of the yoga books, and yeah, I will keep you posted on all of that. But I'm sure that I had a whole lot of other stuff that I said when I did this the first time, but I needed to wrap the video up and kind of at least have it at a stopping point that made sense. So yeah, I appreciate each and every one of you for watching. I love you all, and I hope that you will like and subscribe if you like what you see so far. And yeah, I'm so happy and excited, and I can't wait for the next step. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day or night wherever you are. Bye.